to be seen, to be believed, at Buckingham Palace. It's remarkable to think that it was only 3 months ago that the crowds had also gathered in anticipation that they would see the 96-year-old monarch and what in state.
It's 10 o'clock. This is Sky News at 10, live from Buckingham Palace. Our top story. Her duty done, the Queen's coffin returns to Buckingham Palace, witnessed by the new King. Thousands line the streets for the journey home. Tens of thousands more will pay their respects when she lies in state. In Northern Ireland, a handshake and a pledge from the new King to play a role in healing long-held hurts. Also tonight, the reclaimed cities of Ukraine, the country at rest.
The Queen's return to the capital, flown from Edinburgh to RAF Norfolk. And slowly, a guard of honour formed by RAF Regiment Queen's Colour Squadron carried her down the steep descent. Princess Anne said it was an honour and a privilege to accompany her mother, which she's done from Balmoral to London. The coffin was placed in the state hearse, lit from the inside for its 15-mile journey across London. First, down the A40, where drivers on the opposite carriageway pulled over. Some stood in the central reservation, and hazard lights flashed as the convoy passed. A sign by the road read, "Thank you." Then, into the heart of London towards Hyde Park. Here, thousands of people claimed their small corner of the route to watch it pass like a beacon through the dark streets. Pressed along pavements, capturing the moment on their phones. From Park Lane, the coffin arrived at Hyde Park Corner, which 3 months ago thronged with people celebrating the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Now packed with those who'd come to pay their respects. Then it turned onto Constitution Hill, which runs adjacent to Buckingham Palace.
The Queen knew this road very well, and anyone who's visited the palace will recognise this tree-lined parade, the scene of so many celebrations past. But the atmosphere here tonight, very different, but still people cheering as the coffin goes past.
There are few moments more poignant than this, our longest reigning monarch's last return to her palace.
A wonderful reign and a wonderful lady. I'm so thankful for her life.
Amazing. It's what we do best. It's what we're great, see? Great dreams.
It has been so good for our country, so good for our country. It's nice to see her home.
She hasn't spent a night here in well over 2 years, but this was the Crown's headquarters for so long.
She's being brought to a building that she's known all her life, where her parents were when it was bombed in the war, where she has appeared on the balcony so many times, and where really she has run her reign. And she will be taken in the most magnificent procession all the way from Buckingham Palace, because it's the centre of her royal life.
Phone lights looked like candles, a single bouquet resting on the roof. The outriders stopped to bow their heads, then into the gates for one last time. The coffin will rest the night in the bow room. The family have one final night alone together. In the days ahead, like in life, the Queen will be in the company of the public. With thousands of engagements, she always went to them. But soon, lying in state in Westminster Hall, they will come to her. Jason Farrell, Sky News.
And so, this was goodbye. Until now, Scotland has been the focus of a nation's farewell. Now it shifts south. The departure of the Queen's coffin from Edinburgh St Giles Cathedral was the final act of a goodbye here. to public applause. They queued through the hours of darkness here to pay their respects, walking past the Queen's coffin as she lay at rest, a vigil mounted by her traditional bodyguard, the Royal Company of Archers. The queue continued into daylight hours. Tens of thousands shuffled through Edinburgh streets in a collective show of remembrance.
We're kind of all tingling at the moment because there's a poignancy now.
It will only increase in scale as a nation, north and south, works through the loss of a monarch dearly departed. James Matthews, Sky News, Edinburgh.
Mother felt deeply, I know, the significance of the role she herself played in bringing together those whom history had separated, and in extending a hand to make possible the healing of long-held hurts.
On which to resolve differences. And here, where the legitimacy of the Crown itself is challenged, the differences remain stark. Liz Truss sat beside the Irish Taoiseach Micheál Martin, engaged in conversation, for they too have differences to resolve. And with visits to Scotland, Northern Ireland, and on Friday, Wales, is a statement of intent. An intention to put the future of the Union at the heart of his purpose as king. At a time when many of the traditional bonds of union are weakening, to draw the four nations of the kingdom into a cohesive whole.
Going home. God bless you. Back to where she lived, worked, raised her children, held garden parties, waved to us from the balcony, addressed us in good times and bad.
It's very emotional.